Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 31 of Let's Play. Sorry, 32 of Let's Play Tyranny. Fuck me. In the last part, we continued to fight on, and there's a lot of evidence against both people, and in the end, I may have to just tell the truth. You never know. This land may be Tunon's, it may be mine. We'll see. So, Fateful Remorse is the shield name. Unfortunately, it doesn't have lightweight or quick steps, so I'm going to have to just say, fuck you on that one. Let's have a look at that. And region has always ruled from this throne installed for the last 500 years, and a broken bloodline has survived through the numerous generations. Blocking the doorway, Amelia regards you with eyes that brim with tears, yet blaze with hints of her father's grim resolve. She has armed herself in disfavored raiment to face you down. Stay away from my daughter. You will not have her. Oh no. Oh, by the Archon's mercy, don't let this be so. God, so poetic, Barak. Barak covers his face and howls softly. Did you know this would prolong the edict? We suspected that the bloodline would implicate my baby in Kyros' eyes, but I knew nothing for certain until this moment. She shakes her head. Don't ask me to interpret Overlord's heartless design. I have no love for this edict, if that's what you're asking. It's torn a noble realm to pieces, fractured the pillar of their culture, and claimed and ruined countless lives. She releases a heavy sigh and hardens her intense stare, but I have responsibility to the people of Star to preserve their heritage and leadership. My father and the other Archons destroyed this nation. She and I. Amelia glances back at the crib, and then quickly focuses back on you. We cannot put it back together. What a naive notion. I had thought better of you, but this shows nothing but contempt for all the disfavored accomplished and sacrifice in the conquest. Demetrius shakes his head with disapproval. Your daughter is the regent's heir. Now that you've killed Steridus Herodin, she is. Amelia draws herself up and glares at you. She has nothing to do with Kyros or the edict. You have no right to judge her on the basis of blood. So how is this possible? Do you mean to draw it out for you? Because there are a few ways it can happen, and people get confused about these things. First, Verse lifts a leg above her head, but you cut her off with a gesture. My union with the Steridus the Younger, even in remembrance, Amelia doesn't shed her well-like resolve. He showed me kindness behind these walls, and taught me about Starwalt and the Tears, the culture and heritage that had made these people the pride of the realm. He died in the 3rd year of the conquest, and its favoured spear pinned him to the ground, and he fought to defend. And he never rose again. The regent remained in sentinel stand for her protection. The edict was his responsibility to shoulder, not hers. She ships her head down in a challenge. My daughter will not be another victim of Kyros' conquest. She has the blood of the North coursing through her veins, and no one has the right to take her life. Yeah, the child must die to end the edict. Stand aside or share her fate. Heartless piece of shit. You will not touch my daughter. Amelia draws her weapon and lunges at you.
Heads up.
Not gonna lie, probably the dumbest thing you could do. We're not the weakest people in the realm. We're probably the middle ground currently. You may be an Archon's daughter, but you still have nothing compared to us. Sap for reverse strength. Oh, wait. Oh, fuck. Wait. Why can't I use this?
Bastard, aren't you?
Apparently it's considered already activated. God fucking damn it, I hate when that happens.
Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth.
Do you know what? I'm going to do this an easy way. First, get into the air.
Damn my eyes.
Amelia lies in a pool of blood, whimpering and reaching for her daughter's crib. Then she falls still. From across the room, you hear the baby redoubles her cries. The lieutenant stares down at Amelia's body, his expression softer for a moment. A tragedy. For us, for the North, for Ash. He clears his throat and gestures at the crib. Better handle it then. Outside, the storm continues its assault upon the keep. Its unyielding howls cannot silence the cries from across the room. Only one thing can. Now, something I find very amusing, ladies and gentlemen, I will say, is a lot of people in the forums seem to really hate this specific part of the game.
I am out of
Because apparently a lot of people find this disgusting. But to me, I'm going to smother the baby, because it has to be done. It takes but a moment, and then the deed is done. The heir of to the regency of Stowart lies still in her crib.
She never saw what happens outside these walls. That much is a mercy.
Can someone confirm today's date? Nothing's worse than approximate birth and death dates in a pedigree diagram.
Horrible. And yet, it had to be done. This edict was a blemish on Ash's record, and we are better off without it.
I gained wrath with the favoured and Ash. Silence descends upon the hall. For a moment it seems as the winds outside have halted their dance. A loud crash against the hall doors breaks the silence. Outside the storm begins to whip about furiously, sending dust and debris into the chamber. At first you think the force of arcane power dissipating is enough to carve the skin off your bones, a sensation you attribute to the Edict of Storms, but it cools just as quickly. The wind buffeting the keep have abated. Outside, an eerie silence pervades the air, a stillness that hasn't visited Stowart for a long time. You can hear the very symbols that brought the Edicts of Storm into being. How did I gain favour with the Unbroken? Each syllable proclaiming itself from a newfound corner of your mind. It would seem the Edict is now part of you. Ah, I can hear the wind subsiding at long last. The Edict has passed, and soon we may even see the skies over Stowart. The death of the babe, a terrible thing. And yet we've returned so much life to these beleaguered lands. I don't know if anything can redeem this act, but the Legion may venture to try. Preserving all that make the disfavoured right, our deeds, our honour, that will be absolution enough. The babe had the blood of the North. After all, she would have wanted that. The stalemate between the Unbroken and the disfavoured is at an end, a victory that can't be measured in rings. Thank you, fatebinder. I'll remain at Sentinel Stand to secure the location and send word to Ash of your excellent work. Could you, probably leave out the fact that I just, murdered his grandkid in, pretty much cold blood? There's no pretty much about it. That was definitely cold blood. Could you just maybe leave that from the record before he, tries to murder me for killing both his daughter and his grandkid? For safety's sake. For my safety. I'm not an Archon, so, don't personally want to die. The keep is safe in our hands. Repairs are already underway. Good. Ash will want to hear about what we've accomplished here. I'll hang back and oversee repairs of the defences.
On it.
Well, this is, I must say, it was a grim day, but it had to happen. I think I'm going to try and get myself some more level up in... see, Rogue, I kind of want to change my entire abilities, but... Never actually got this. I've never done that. Nah, we'll keep with magic and a bit agility. It suits the character. We just need to do more damage. And also, my control frost is not my control magic is not high enough. Okay, apparently this one's closer, so we'll go this way. Whichever's, I thought this one would be closer, but apparently the oh no, the gate is open. It's just on the image. It's not. Oh wow, we have to. So yeah, the other way would have actually been quicker, but fuck it. I've already gone this way now, and that will actually be the quickest one to leave through. Let's speed it up. And out we go. Well, Iron Hearth is definitely where we need to go. Something tells me he will not be happy to see us, but... So we've got all recruit. So we're not paying much to these guys, and we still got loads of money. How much goods have we got to sell? Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of money. There's some equipment we need to make actually when we get to the. We need to go to we need to go to 2 different spires. We need to go to the. We actually need to go to all 3 of our spires to have a quick look on what they're doing. The great keep of Sentinel Stand is ours. Oh, how I will relish tearing down every vestige of the unbroken and burying the standard of that corrupt realm. This is a great victory for the disfavored. What's more, we are delivered from the Edict of Storms. My runners speak of you in glowing terms, though I instructed them specifically not to report on your deeds in too much detail. I wanted to hear it from no one but the source. I would know how it felt to stand at the center of the storm as the Overlord's magic dissolved around you. You must be weary from your travels. I am eager to hear your account, but I will understand if you need to gather your thoughts. This is your joyous day. It's a joyous day, and I wouldn't spoil it with impotence. I claimed the Ocean Spire. Another spy added to your arsenal. Impressive, but I question what you can do with 2, 3, 7, 8 spies at your command, that you cannot do with 1. Be sure and clue me in once you figure it out. I can only imagine that Tunon will be interested as well, not to mention the Poison Rat. Like it or not, you have our attention, and we will be watching. Let's talk about Amelia. My Amelia, I can no longer sense her presence, and have anticipated the worst since you returned from Sentinel Stand. As a general, I can be cautious, but only as a father can I know fear. Ash clenches his hand into a tight fist at his sides. Say what you would then. She redefined sedition by birthing the next regent of Starwalt. Sedition? You are either mad or suicidal to suggest that my Amelia would lay with the enemy. I would have you thrown from the walls of this fortress before I offered credence to your depraved accusations. Speak no more of these lies. I won't have them poisoning the air of Ironhaith and the ears of my fellow countrymen. You are a fool if you think I'd believe such an obvious ruse. As regards you of uncertainty, his eyes searching for the truth or contradiction, I was forced to kill her. You did what? I was prepared for your jest or evasion, but I hear none of it in your voice. I had felt a disruption in my daughter's bond, to have fallen by your hand. The Archon fist squeezed so hard you can hear his gauntlets buckle under the strain. Shatterer of houses and defiler of families, only by the will of Kyros could you leave this fortress with your life. I will break you in ways unimaginable by even the voice of Narat. What I inflict will redefine the boundaries of cruelty. He's about to blow up the walls of Sentinel Stand. Keep your weapon ready, Binder. Her baby needed to die to end the edict. I had no choice. So you pretend that you severed my bloodline in the name of duty. If you don't know the meaning of restraint or responsibility, then you have no business associating with my decorated legion. Would that I simply drowned you upon your arrival at the Apex Valley and spared myself this grief. What am I to do with you, Fatebinder? Or should I call you sower of atrocious atrocities? I would be within my rights to end your life here and now, but losing the favour of Tunon might prove a crippling setback to the war. In all my centuries, I have never stood at such an impasse. To be fair, this is probably the best thing to say, but you know what? Fuck it. You have no one to blame but yourself. You defied Kyros in your day, and you set an example for her. How dare you drag my past into this, as if more death could heal the rift you have opened under my legion. Ash squeezes his eyes shut and exhales forcefully through his nostrils. But you are correct. Anyone who judged me by my disobedient youth would call me a poor example for a father, not to mention a general. There is good reason for Kyros to name my forces disfavored. I could never expected my choices would reflect in Amelia. She will be given all the proper rights that the northern soldier deserves, nothing more or less. My daughter is dead, and there is no wound that time could heal. Take this lesson, if nothing else, Fatebinder. An Archon's lifespan is a burden and a curse beyond all mortal reckoning. Family, country, loyalty, the things that truly matter, they are made to last. They too will crumble and die in the course. What is it you require? I returned from Sentinel Stand, obviously. The seat of the regents and the tarnished gem of Starwalt. I have anticipated this, so tell me, what have you to report? Stratus Herodin is dead. That is gratifying to hear. The coward spent too long crouched behind the walls of Sentinel Stand and deserved none of Kyros' mercy. The regent family was an inbred and corrupt line of failed rulers. They had neither the courage nor the grit to lead their realm to prosperity, as they demonstrated. Starwood is much improved by their absence. The Edict of Storms is ended, and I have breathed fresh air for the first time since I returned to Iron Hearth. You managed to accomplish what my forces could not. More importantly, you have abated Kyros' anger for the time being. With the great stalemate of the conquest ended, surely we have earned the favour of Tunon and Kyros alike. Every deed you accomplish in the name of the disfavoured proves our right to rule these lands. Ash balls a fist and enthusiastically pumps it into the air. How did it feel, Fatebinder? I have no distinction of breaking an edict, much less several. It feels less like breaking a spell and more like absorbing it. A strange distinction. I would offer you some comforting assurance that this will pass, but that would be an empty promise. Your actions at Venture and Well have caused us all to expect more of you, more than you were ever prepared to shoulder as a legal clerk. Living up to an admittedly high expectations will do more than merely get you through this war. There are greater things to come from the dust once the dust has settled. So what's our next step? The first things first. My soldiers reported on your actions in the Blade Grave. They saw what happened when you broke the Edict of Storms. The power of the edict flowed through you like a wind. No one could account for it, but I have my suspicions. You were becoming powerful, perhaps in ways I don't even understand. There's a connection between the edicts and what happened at Ascension Hall. I'm still putting the pieces together. I appreciate your honesty and introspection. Still, you walk a dangerous path. I would not want it to reflect poorly on the Legion. These are tools beyond the ken of people or Archons alike. Take care that you don't overstep your bounds. In Kyros' hierarchy, someone always notices. With that out of the way, let us return to the matter of the war. Our position in the tiers is strengthening by the day, but there is work to be done. It is time to broaden our scope in this war. There are two regions of interest, and either of them would strengthen our hold of the realm. Levian's Crossing is home to merchants and the skilled forgeman artisans. The Burning Library was the home of the all-knowing sages before Kyros reduced it to cinders. I would like to head back to the Burning Library. I will head to the Burning Library. Good. I understand the Voices in Rat has dispatched one of his miscreant gangs to comb through the ruins of the library. We cannot allow any privileged knowledge to fall into their hands. Kill any of his red-clad degenerates you find and destroy the library as Kyros intended. There is also said to be a repository of arcane lore in the bowels of the library. The silent archive. It must be eliminated to satisfy the terms of Kyros' will. My scoutmaster, Marek, was dispatched to observe the Scarlet Chorus. Though I haven't heard from him in some time, his last known location was the Valley of Effigy. The wilderness around the library is plagued with chorus patrols and wildfires that can make routes treacherous at the moment's notice. Marek should be able to assist you in charting a safe course through the wasteland. The general worries his hand and buried in furrows. I instructed Marek to destroy all the forbidden lore within the Burning Library. Given the first opportunity, the fact that the Edict of Fire persists is cause to assume that he failed. Farewell. Well, the fact that Ash didn't outright stab me is definitely a bonus. But I actually want to go to see if this forge-bound, enlist aid from a forge-bound not subject to Kyros' law. I'm going to go see if we can get him out of his armor. After we go and have a look at our spires and get me some more artifacts. Because artifacts are awesome. And for every artifact, we get even more powerful. So first things first, we'll go to the Ocean Spire. Right, and we received a message from the Voices of Narat. Fuel for the flame, dearest Fatebinder, champion of Tunon's gavel, slayer of choirmen. We hope you recognize that we bear you no ill will, who understands treachery if not for the Archonov's secrets. We've always held the very highest esteem for the work of the other specialists in the art of duplicitous. Make no mistake, dear fatebinder, after your little performance at Vengeance Well, and with such a flair for the theatrical illumination, you have ascended in our estimate. We trust you will understand that when we peel the flesh from your bones and squeeze the bile from your quivering innards, it's strictly out of artistic integrity and the courtesy owed from a fellow professional. Nothing personal at all. But enough about our friendly rivalry. Do you enjoy the company of our little spy? Her dance never fails to inspire us in the most pleasant quivers. We have a gift for her, delivered for you due to the girl's questionable faculty with letters. We've learned from one of the birds that a mercenary in Haven has been absolutely gloating about slaying her sisters. He boasts even secured him from work defending some crossing merchant. Show her the sigil of the reverse. She'll know what they'll mean. The opposite page contains several rough ink scratches symbols that look like nothing more than child's pictographs of their favorite animal. I'm just gonna inquire further, I guess. Archon of Secrets. No doubt you intend your message to elicit violence and chaos. That's standard for you. However, so I'm left to wonder, what else do you hope to accomplish? Nothing like playing with him. Okay, good sage. How may I assist you? What status of your research? I'm happy to say I've made great progress. He beams at you and exhales a welcome breath. Allow me to show you my findings. Plans for a weapon called Deathbringer. I don't want you to research something. Research artifacts. Work continues. Okay, so you're not done. So let's fuck off. Oh, wait. Is it Lithos? Nope. No, it's not Ebb. It's not Siren. Sage Nera. One of these has the equipment. Yes. This will not do at all. A sage produces the library stacks, rubbing his palms together with expiation. Kill your throat. Her eyes shoot open with panic, and she utters a quick incantation. Your vision blurs, and suddenly there appears to be several copies of the sage standing about, looking at you with anxious expressions. Some stand ready to fire and off an additional spell, while others fiddle awkwardly with their garments. What are you doing here? The other ones. Fatebinder Galerius at your service? Oh, I'm afraid I only know you by description, and they didn't exactly get it right. A moment's patience. The assembled sage regards you one of the identical speakers with expressions of doubt and worry. The sage waves her hand and dispels the copies, which spread apart like a mist until breeze carries them away. That's better. You have to forgive me. It's an old defense mechanism against the lecturers who ran the Villiam Citadel. I'm available if you need something. Oh, okay, so you're just a trainer. Is it you? You're a trainer. Fuck it, don't matter. Wait. I'm going to get myself straight to the mountain spot. And we received a message from... Okay. Fuck it, we'll read that in the next part. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next part. See you guys then.